It Follows is the best horror movie I've seen in a long time. Seriously, for so many years, I've been disappointed by horror movies. Whenever someone recommends me something that even critics like The Conjuring, I watch it because they tell me it's good, then it turns out it's not as good. To me, it's not as good as they say it is. It's not scary, and I just find even movies like The Conjuring I found to be just okay. I guess it's because I've seen so many horror movies from the 80s and 90s that, I don't know, recent horror movies just don't scare me, or they don't interest me as much as they used to. So yeah, I've been disappointed for a while, until I saw It Follows. And yeah, this movie is awesome. Wow, it's good! It's really, really good! I recommend this a horror movie to everyone! And here's the thing, the idea of it sounds very stupid. I mean, the story is about this girl who meets up with this guy, and then this guy has sex with her once, and then all of a sudden he makes her unconscious, bounds her to a wheelchair, and then tells her all this crazy shit. And apparently, that he passed along an STD, and this STD makes a demon walk toward you. And this demon is invisible to everyone else except for the person who has the STD. And whoever has the STD last, the demon will follow them, walk slowly towards them, and if the demon catches up to them and grabs them, the demon will rape him or her to death. Seriously, the idea of it sounds very stupid, but it's executed very well in this film, and this movie is very disturbing at times. There were a couple jump scares that were really effective, and I haven't jumped like that in a horror movie for a while. I have to give this movie kudos. And this movie is shot very well. There's no shaky cam. You see everything on the screen. Great wide shots. And I like some of the pan shots it does at times. And the entire time you keep looking at the background because you're trying to see if the demon is there or not. And man, this movie is scary at times. And like I said, there's some disturbing images. And yes, there is nudity, but it's not like one of those horror movies where, oh, it's a naked chick who's naked for no reason. No, this makes naked chicks look terrifying. So, man, this movie is really effective. I like it. And for the first time in a while, the characters are likable. Seriously, almost everyone in this movie is a likable character. You don't want them to die. So, and the acting's good. That's a rare trait for horror movies. The main girl is very, very good. At first, I thought she was Brie Larson from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. My best friend thought that she's looks similar to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I can understand that. But at first, I thought it was Brie Larson, but then all of a sudden, she sounds like Shailene Woodley or Kat Dennings. So it's like a mixture of those three actresses. Her name is Michael Monroe, and I feel like she's going to have a great future ahead of her. I think she's only like 21 years old. Man, I can't wait to see her in another movie. People told me a movie she's in called The Guest was very good. I gotta rent that soon. So yeah, she was great. I really liked her a lot. And yeah, this movie is seriously the idea. Oh man. And here's the thing. The guy who had sex with her, even though he was a dick for doing that, from his point of view, I understand why. Because he doesn't want to die. And also, if he dies, the demon will go to every single other person that gave them the disease. So after he dies, then the demon will go to the person who gave him the disease. And then if that person dies, then keeps going down the line. So that's why he had to give it to this girl. And yeah, when I said this demon will rape them to death, this demon takes on the forms of either someone that the person knows or a complete stranger. So yeah, when you see this rape scene, it's very disturbing. And yeah, the rape scene is the most disturbing images in this movie. But there's one jump scare that really got me, and that's near like the quarter way in, and it shows this giant man that came out of nowhere, and my god, that made me jump because I did not expect to see that guy just come out of nowhere. But the thing is that I do have problems with this movie, but I have to spoil the movie if I want to talk about these problems. So I'm from this point on, I'm gonna talk about spoilers. If you want to see this film, or if you're curious, I recommend it. This film is actually good. I really recommend it. If you haven't had a good horror movie in a while, go check this out. And also, I forgot to mention the score. The score is great. Oh man, this movie is like it's shot in the 80s and someone just put it on the shelf and then realized that it was really good and it's the year 2015 and people just like, oh wait, this movie's actually good. Let's put it in theaters. Seriously, this feels like an 80s horror movie. And the way it's shot and the score. The score is fantastic. Yeah, that score is fantastic and Jesus, I really love this. Alright, so spoilers from here on out. The guy explains all these rules, and that's my first problem with the movie. How exactly does he know all these rules? He did say that he had sex, he got it from having sex with a prostitute or a hooker at a bar or something like that, so it was just a one-night stand. He didn't say if she explained everything to him. Because I would assume that she explained everything to him because she should know that she has the disease. Or probably she's the one who first spread the disease. I don't know. So yeah, he knows about all these rules. So this demon, this entity, takes on the form of someone the person knows or a complete stranger. So this entity takes on the form of your parents, or your friends, or your family members, or someone completely different. This movie gets suspenseful whenever this entity takes on the form of someone they know, because the entire time it's kind of like The Thing. You don't know who to trust. This movie is still suspenseful anyway, because these strangers that the main character doesn't know still is creepy and disturbing. But the entire time you're wondering, who the hell are these strangers? Are these the people who got the disease and died to the demon? Or probably she knows them, but she doesn't remember them? I don't know. Because the entity takes on the form of an old woman in a hospital gown when she's in the school. And then all of a sudden, the old woman just happens to be in the hallway. She was first outside, then a couple seconds later, she's inside the hallway. And also, the old woman walks in between these two girls who are just talking to each other. And these two girls just left enough space so this old woman can just go in between them. So at first I thought, okay, probably it's a psychological thriller. Probably it's all in the main character's head, or probably it's a ghost. So this demon can go through walls or something like that. But then you learn more rules about it. And then you realize that this demon actually has a physical form. Seriously, when you realize this, this was during the time of the beach sequence where everyone's calm and they're just relaxing on the beach. The main character is finally calm. She's sunbathing a bit. And then one of the guys decided to piss near the grass. And then in the background, you see her friend is just walking towards them in a bikini. So you don't think much of it. So you think, okay, so it's just a girl just finally getting out of the shed, finally finished changing or something like that. Now it's heading towards the main character. And then all of a sudden you see the same girl just swimming on the outside, and apparently everyone knows this. So, which means that the girl who's coming towards them from the background is actually the demon. And then all of a sudden you see an invisible force pull up the main character's hair, and that terrified me. I was like, holy shit, this demon has a physical form? What the fuck does this mean? And then the guy hits the demon with the chair, and then the chair breaks and it throws the guy off screen, and you're like, wow, this demon's powerful. What the hell? How are you going to stop this thing? And then, so the girl shoots at it, and even though she's a bad shot, she still got it in the neck, but it only grazed through the neck, so even though it's still bleeding, this demon is still going, and it's like, what the hell's going on? And this demon takes on like 4 different forms during the scene. The demon looks like her friend at first, and then it becomes the little boy neighbor, then it becomes the tall man. I don't know why it becomes the tall man again, because that it already used that form earlier on in the movie. I don't understand why this demon has to take on different forms, and I don't know which form is effective or not. And also the fact that this demon, if it catches you, and it will rape you to death. So when you think about it, this movie is actually very, very disturbing. You're like, oh my god, can you imagine if her friend, if the entity took on the form of her friend and rapes her, or it takes on the form of her neighbor, which was like a 10-year-old boy, or the giant man? Seriously, that is disturbing. And yes, this rape scene is really terrifying, and the idea of it is terrifying. Even though it's weird because the entity took on the form of the mother of the guy who had sex with her, so he could just pass along the demon. The mother is kind of hot, I have to admit, for like a middle-aged old woman, and she shows her breast. Yeah, she's kind of hot, I have to admit. But then she rapes the hell out of her son, and I'm like, oh god, that is wow, Jesus. And here's the thing: in the beginning of this movie, it's a very very good beginning. You want to know what the hell's going on because you see this girl just in her underwear, running in heels, just on in the middle of this neighborhood, and then you hear this awesome score in the background, and then it does the pan shots too, and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, and then the girl just runs around, and then goes back to her house, and then steals the car, and then drives off, and then she tells her father while at the beach that she loves him so much, and she is sorry for being a little shit, and then the next scene shows her dead with her leg bent backwards, broken, with the bone sticking out. So at that point I was like, does that mean the demon raped her so hard it broke her leg? Oh god, that's horrible. So yeah, this movie is a lot like The Ring, except instead of passing along a VHS tape, you pass along sex. Seriously, this movie is basically a PSA on safe sex. Always wear a condom, kids. Otherwise, you get a sex demon coming after you to rape you and kill you. I don't know. I don't want to think too much about this. I don't want to be critical because I really like this film. But I have so many questions about this. Why the hell is the demon walking so slowly towards them all the time? And also, if this demon takes on the physical form, does that mean that this demon cannot teleport or anything? Because this demon follows them everywhere. So at this point, I'm like, wait, so what happens if they leave the country? Does that mean that the demon will still slowly walk towards them if they move to Mexico or move to Europe or Asia or something like that? Seriously, how does that work? Yeah, that's the thing. Can this demon fly or something like that? Can this demon teleport? Because you see these guys traveling around by car every single time to avoid this demon. So you think, okay, so these guys are traveling long distances. It takes a while for the demon to just walk there. And also, this demon walks like, what, 4 miles an hour? So, yeah, I'm confused. How far do they go and stuff? And how long do you know the demon will get there and stuff? And sometimes I'm wondering how come the demon doesn't just rape her when she sleeps. Seriously, there's so many times where she slept for long periods of time, or she's in the hospital for 3 days. The demon does not get there. Does that mean that they traveled so far away that the demon can't get up to them? I don't know. Sometimes it makes no sense. And also, there was a period of time where the demon does not affect the guy she slept with or herself. Seriously, they didn't see the demon for a couple days. Then all of a sudden, the demon just takes on the form of the guy's mother and rapes him to death. And then after that, she drives wherever, I don't know, she went to the beach and she slept on top of the car hood. Is it because the demon isn't there yet? It's still slowly walking towards her? I don't know. So, yeah, at that scene, she sees these 3 guys on a motorboat, and she decides to strip to her underwear and slowly walk towards them. And then the next shot shows her soaking wet and driving the car. And at that point, I was like, is that a failed attempt at trying to have sex with them? I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. Or she did have sex with them, and then it turns out that she knows they're dead already because the demon will come after her in a couple hours or days. I don't know. I'm thinking it's a failed attempt. That's what I'm thinking. The rules about this demon sometimes make no sense. And also, there's this scene, this climactic battle in this abandoned pool. Speaking of which, for an abandoned pool, the pool water is very, very clean. Seriously, yeah. So, the guys set up this, like, Home Alone traps. What they're thinking is that, okay, if the demon goes inside the water, the girl just has to get out of the water, and they throw all the electrical equipment down into the water to electrify it, to kill it. And here's the thing, though. They showed earlier on in the movie that they're trying to find the guy who gave her the disease, and he had an abandoned house as an address. So they go to the abandoned house, and they realize that the whole house is rigged with, like, bottles and cans on strings, which means that, okay, every time the demon tries to go inside, this guy knows it and leaves. And at this point, they know that the demon has a physical form. So, why don't they put like strings of bottles and cans around the windows and entrances of this abandoned pool? I don't know. How come they didn't have some kind of like powder or something like that? Or some kind of indicator so they know where the demon is? I don't know. They just keep saying, Jay, point where it is. Keep pointing so I could try to shoot at it. I was like, wait, you guys did not think of anything else so you know where the demon is? You know it has a physical form. Put some paint or blue hair dye or something like that. Put something on the floor so you can see the footsteps or something. I don't know what these guys were thinking at the time. They just think this electrical equipment can electrocute it. And you know what's the funny thing? This thing backfires. Seriously. No, the electrical equipment doesn't fry the main character, no. But what the demon just keeps throwing all this shit at her. It throws TVs. It throws the iron. It throws heavy machinery at this poor girl. And she gets hit a bunch of times too. And I was like, oh my god, you guys, you just made things worse. And the ending is left ambiguous because you're wondering if the guy in the background is the demon. But my best friend's like, nah, it can't be because this demon's walking a bit too fast. And I have to agree with him. Yeah, the demon looks like it's a little bit like a sprint walking. But then we were joking about it and saying, probably the demon now understands that it shouldn't walk slowly anymore. Probably it should run toward them now. And yeah, that's what we're thinking. The demon finally learned something. After it got shot in the head, it learned something. And also, for a demon that walks so slowly, it lunges like a panther. Seriously, Jesus. And also, during the final battle scene, the final climactic battle with this entity, it confused me because Jay knows what the demon looks like. So everyone's asking her, Jay, what does it look like? What does it look like? And she's like, oh my god, it's so hard to explain. I can't describe it. I was like, what do you mean? So when it shows the demon, you're like, is that Jason Clarke? It looks like Jason Clarke. Seriously, at first I thought it was Jason Clarke, but no, it turns out it isn't Jason Clarke. So yeah, this demon turns out to take on the form of her father, I guess? I don't know. At the near the end of the movie, when she's having sex with Paul, they show a picture of her and her sister as children, and it shows the father. I think that's what it means. But does that mean the father is dead, or the father's alive, or what? I don't get it. Can this demon only take on the form of dead parents? Because the demon takes on the form of the guy's mother, and the mother apparently is still alive. So, I don't know. Yeah, there were some disturbing images as well, and I gotta say, the Giant Man one was great. That scene was fantastic, and it made me jump in my seat, because this Giant Man comes out of the hallway after they open the door to reveal their friend, and then the Giant Man is right behind her. That was terrifying. And also, there was this, to me, a second most disturbing image is when the girl was investigating the kitchen, and then she looks to her left, and she sees this half-naked woman with her booba coming out, and she was peeing on the floor, and I'm like, oh god, what is this? What the fuck is this? What? That's my review on It Follows, and like I said, I really like this film, but I hate the fact that I'm too curious, asking all these questions, and too critical. I don't want to be that kind of guy. I just want to like this movie, but this movie makes me ask so many questions. Probably that's a good thing, probably that's a bad thing, I don't know. If you guys know the answers to all the questions I have, just write down in the comments below, please. Like I said, I really like this film, but yeah, there's some things that made no sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, like I said, this film is great. I recommend it. So, if you guys watch this movie, write down in the comments below. If you liked it or hate it, let me know. Guys, if you like this video, please click the like button. If you like to subscribe, there's an annotation here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later, and thank you for watching.